Hi, I am Teresa Zulu. I am the grandmother of Michael Lombardi, the case that refers to Gregory Nigel Robertson. And now, you said you have agreed not to file against Gregory Nigel Robertson?
That is correct.
And what made this come about?
Well, as I recall, I believe that you called to talk to the prosecutor on the case, and you're not a legal parent or guardian of the minor child, and so therefore I cannot talk to you about this matter.
But I am a concerned grandmother, and last I heard is when somebody is naked in public, that's lewd and lascivious conduct at the least.
Okay.
So what can't you prove against Nigel?
You have to have a victim. Okay.
On lewd and lascivious conduct?
Yes.
He's out there in public.
Right. But if there's no one there, I'll give you another example. I had a case recently where we had a gentleman that was doing some bad things.
Don't worry, we're going to put all of your addresses on public profile on YouTube. It's all legally findable, legally postable, public domain, public information is postable. We're going to put it in a concise video for you. Shut your fucking pig mouth. My son is in the house of a pedophile. You like how after Detective Blank can't figure out what crimes are, he assumes that when we turned in an adult sex offender, which is my son's older brother, for taking naked dick pics on my son's phone in public parks, they assumed I was complaining about indecent exposure, which would, of course, need a victim in the park when the crime occurred. It would need somebody in the park to see this sex offender pull his weenie out and then complain, and then the police come and arrest him with that victim being the witness. But I wasn't complaining about that. Naked adult dick pics of a known and wanted sex offender were found on an 8-year-old boy's phone, his little brother's. At that point, that is actually Penal Code 288. And that is lewd and mischievous acts. Penal Code 288. A person who willfully and lewdly commits any lewd act or lascivious act, including any acts constituting other crimes provided in Part 1, upon or with their body, any member of thereof, of a child under the age of 14. That's Penal Code 288. They never did form an investigation or investigate that. They also didn't look at the Penal Code 288.2, which is basically a sexting penal code. When you transmit naked dick pics onto a media device of a child in any way, shape, or form, you are guilty of that, and that is also a felony. It appears that Investigator Blank of the Orange County District Attorney's Office is not only incompetent, it appears that he is a lapdog for Caitlin Harrington, who also is an incompetent ADA attorney for the District Attorney's Office. She's so incompetent, she can't help children, and she'd rather children be around a known and wanted sex offender. When you call back, Detective Blank then becomes vindictive and then threatens malicious prosecuting me under a good faith phone call. My good faith phone call is to get help for my son. Because they're too stupid and ignorant of the own penal code they're sworn to protect and uphold, they then become vindictive to me and form malicious prosecution, which makes Investigator Blank a criminal and makes Caitlin Harrington a criminal. You gotta love Detective Blank. As he realizes he's ignorant, he doesn't understand the law, he obviously doesn't know what Penal Code 288 is or 288.2. He thought that I was complaining about an adult sex offender taking dick pics in a park, which would be a completely different criminal offense, which is only a misdemeanor, whipping your dick out in a park. It would also require there to be a victim, somebody in that park at the time of the occurrence, to actually complain. But I was not complaining about that. I was really clear that these adult dick pics of a sex offender were found on my 8-year-old boy's phone, which is his primary communication device between father and son and his primary gaming device, which makes this a 288 case and a 288.2 case, which stupid Caitlin Harrington and her lapdog, Investigator Blank, couldn't figure out because their IQ is very low. And when they were confronted with their stupidity, they became vindictive. They became malicious prosecutors. As you can see, he will threaten me to actually prosecute me. I did never call him after that threat. After he threatened me with malicious prosecution, which is a crime, I never called him back. Do you think Detective Blank filed charges? Of course he did. So not only did he not keep his word, which you can't expect a lying, incompetent pig to keep his word. Only good cops, men of honor, have that. That's called dignity and honor and respect. A man of his caliber doesn't. That's probably why you can't find his picture on the internet either. He's probably upset a lot of people with his douchebag, malicious behavior.